Once the king of the octagon, a symbol of power and ambition, Conor McGregor's name now echoes in courtrooms instead of arenas, convicted of charges that shook the sporting world. His fall from glory leaves fans and critics questioning, how did the legend lose his way?
Venzel, what are you doing to solve this problem?
This is definitely a recurring issue, I have to say. I'm pretty sure in one of our earlier podcasts, because we've been doing this a long time now.
Yeah.
It's getting hard
Veterans.
to remember. We veterans. But genuinely, I feel like it's a topic we've discussed where famous people seem to be... Although this, I can't remember the exact timeline, but it was quite a while back actually that this, the actual event happened, if I remember correctly from what I was reading. And Conor came out going, "Oh yeah, I was young and I made mistakes." I'm like, bro, that's not a mistake. that's far from a mistake.
It was a conscious choice, and it's not going to end well for him.
I mean, he used to be like the symbol of Ireland, your hometown.
Bro, they literally had him painted up in gyms and pubs and everything, right? Pubs have stopped serving his alcohol. They've painted over the pictures that they had of him.
He had a whiskey line?
He had a whiskey, yep, called Proper 12.
And yeah, I've been seeing, again, similar idea to the Budweiser, although for different reasons, but same idea of people like throwing it to the floor, pouring it down drains, all sorts of stuff just to get rid of it. So it is fascinating how people just kind of ride the wave of fame, and they're like, shit, they opened the closet, the skeleton fell out, had my fun, I'm gonna wait a year and then I'll be back with the vengeance, probably.
But is it fun though? That's the thing. Is it fun? I mean, these celebrities, they, unfortunately, it is our fault. Not ours specifically, but the fans. They put them up on a pedestal and they fill their head with nonsense that they are unstoppable. They have unlimited power. They can do whatever they want. And with that, they choose to do whatever they want, which is typically illegal.
And I think it's strange how these people are on this pedestal. They are praised, they are worshipped. And he could have had almost any consenting woman. But I don't know if it's like a mental thing where it's like they need to reinforce their superiority or something, that they have to choose the one person that's saying no. And then obviously, like, come on, you have this whole ocean to choose from.
It's that need to want what you can't have.
Yeah, and it's super frustrating. Like, why does it have to keep being like a broken record? Like, who next?
That's the thing. And it's, okay, put my hands up. This is something that you could expect from the likes of Conor. He's always been hot-headed, and he's always done crazy things. Like throwing a steel chair at a bus. I don't know if you remember that from years ago.
I do remember that. Probably similar timeline.
Yeah. So it's quote unquote expected. It's not like a shock that this came out as true.
Yeah. There's no disbelief. Like, oh my word, he could never have done it.
He could never, yeah. But the thing is, like, there is the odd time where it is someone that you least expect. But it's the same sort of situation where we've put them up on a pedestal and we've said, this person is perfect. And then they go and prove us wrong. Why do celebrities keep proving us wrong? Do they want to do it? They're like, I'm tired of being a celebrity now.
But that's the thing, is it a lot of them it's more, again, that whole idea of cats out the bag, or they open the closets to see the skeletons, where it's it happens 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. Okay, sure, it takes a while for it to come to surface and the court cases to become open and all of that sort of thing, but yeah, it's like they hit a little bit of fame, just enough to where there's people wooing over them and chasing them on social media, and fangirls throwing themselves at them. And then again, like you said, I want I'm tired of all this easy stuff, Let me go for that one. Yeah, that one said no. I don't care though. I'm going for that one.
Is that sort of drive not the thing that made them famous?
I think that could be. Like
Is it not related?
I feel like it must be that sort of drive, that craving of everyone's approval, that ambition to be, seen by everyone the way that those couple people, I say couple people, those hundreds of thousands of people that have put you on the pedestal, you want to make everyone have that same opinion. So I definitely think there's got to be some sort of link between the whole wanting all the attention versus doing something they really, 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 really shouldn't.
So, do you have the specifics on what he was convicted for?
It was yet another sexual assault charge, but I don't have the specifics. Let me ring it up quickly. Conor.
Yeah, so Conor McGregor, he shocked the world by winning. He shocked the world by winning his first title because he was a smaller guy in the group.
Yeah.
But the way he fought was pretty impressive. Like, he was quick, he moved quick, but he was super strong, and people kind of didn't expect it from him because he was a small guy. Then he won the weight class above that. Then he won. He got the belt for the weight class above that again. I think he got 3 belts each weight class. So it was crazy. I saw his knockout, and Joe Rogan has spoken about it a lot. But it was against Jose Aldo, where in the changing room he was practicing what he was going to do, and so is it Jose or Jose? Jose Aldo.
I think it's Jose.
Anyway,
like the tequila.
Yeah. So Jose would come and swing at him. He'd step out the way, and he'd get him with the left, right? And then in the first 12, like as the bell went, it literally what happened. He ran at him. He stepped out the way, and he hit him. So yeah, it was great to watch. Unfortunately, in a combat sport where a hot-headed person thrives, but then can that translate into the convictions that you're going to now tell me about?
Yeah, so that's just one case, that's been brought to light. You never know. But no, it's a civil rape verdict where he was found guilty. Obviously we won't name the other.
That's jail time.
So I'm trying to see if it actually is getting any jail time. So I was in a Dublin hotel room in 2018.
Okay. I wasn't here yet.
Civil court jury award. Oh, so they awarded the victim 250,000 euros. And I'm trying to see.
But that doesn't cover.
No, that's
the trauma.
No, not at all. Probably only scratches the surface for the therapy. Where does it say?
I think
what time he served?
Buy her a house and give her the 250.
Is that it? He just had to pay her? Yeah, it just seems like all he had to do was pay her some money.
That's a bit sus because he has a Lamborghini yacht. So 250 is nothing. That's like a speeding ticket for him. Why don't you type, is Conor McGregor going to jail?
Placed in chokehold. Where? Had not seen someone so bruised in a long time. Wow.
Yeah,
but
kind
I'm
of
not
like
seeing
what
anything
Khabib did to him.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything, unless the media's been put into a bit of a chokehold themselves. So they're not allowed to mention anything about it. Oh, so he's not getting jail time because it's a civil case
Okay.
instead of what's the other one again? Instead of a criminal case. So if it was a criminal case, he would have had jail time. But because it's a civil case, he just has to pay out.
Okay, but how's that fair? Because what makes it a civil case instead of a criminal?
I'd love to comment, but I have no idea about law. Rather than say something completely wrong and get roasted by Yaku, I think I'm going to play it safe and just know the very basic difference that in civil, you don't always go to jail, but in criminal, you go to jail. And still
Okay.
I'm going to just leave it at that. But
Well,
shocking.
unless you don't have any money. But yeah, he was a fighter. But speaking about fighters doing things that they shouldn't do, the great Mike Tyson pulled his punches on Jake Paul.
100%.
And I didn't want to speak about this. I really didn't want to give them any sort of airtime. 200 extra views.
Yeah. But that's kind of our game, isn't it? Clickbait, so we need a thumbnail. But no, seriously, it's like you watch a lot of the fights, and so many of the the fighting reporters and the fighting podcasts who maybe know a bit more than we do in terms of fighting
Mm-hmm.
are like showing comparative clips of obviously a much younger Mike Tyson, but the exact combos that he would used to pull. There was one distinct one where he ducks one, and it exactly happens with Jake where he ducks one
and he pulls his shoulder.
He doesn't even throw it. He just like jukes him like, "Ha, I could have," and then just kind of backs off and carries on. You're like, and then they obviously in all those other ones they show all the clips of exactly how he's done that to like 5 other fighters where he ducks one, throws a right, and then with Jake was like, "Duck, no."
He does this and he pulls out, and you see even Jake does this. Jake's
like, "Oh, KO, here I come." So no, it was 100% scripted. 100%.
No. It was not scripted.
100% scripted.
It was Mark Tyson it was Mark Tyson claiming 20 million.
Yes.
And it was probably written, "You can't knock him out," or something like that.
Yeah, that's still written. That's still scripted. The script said,
Oh, okay.
"Don't kill Jake," and he didn't.
So there's a Saudi prince who has offered Mike Tyson 700 million. Sorry, I apologize. 700 million dirham.
Oh shit! I thought you were gonna say dollars. I was like,
Yeah, what is that in?
that's still probably quite a lot.
Dollar. Oh. $190 million. $190 million to rematch Jake and to not pull his punches.
The things that
Because for Mark it was a payday. For Mark it was, let me go out. And Jake obviously, I think Jake could have hit him a lot harder, but respectfully, nothing good comes out of Jake knocking out Mike Tyson. Like, everyone will abuse him. Everyone will just give him hate.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, if he knocked Mike Tyson out, it would have been all about the news. Like, how could you do this? obviously it was an unfair fight. You're fighting a 60-year-old, blah blah blah.
But I don't think he could have though, because, and I think I just said he could have. I don't think he could have because Mark's been hit in the head so many times. I think he's like conditioned
I
not go
definitely
down.
think so because look, Jake did land a couple good shots. Maybe not at 110%.
That was the
Maybe only at 90%, and Mark was unfazed. He just dunk. Okay, what next? So yeah, no, definitely, I doubt Jake realistically could have actually knocked him out if he tried. Because also then if he hits him with 100% 1 or 2 times, Mark's gonna be like, oh, you want to play that game? That's not what we agreed on. And then obviously Mark's gonna then not pull punches, and the fight gets a bit more bloody. But who next? Who is Jake? I know immediately after this, the amount of memes, however you want to say that, where they were like, next up, and then they like literally talk about
Muhammad
dead
Ali.
people or Muhammad Ali. I'm like it's funny, but at the same time it's a little bit like, at least to me, a little bit offside. Where you're like, Shaman, that poor dead guy, you're like dragging him through the mud just to try and make a joke here. But
before I answer that question, I just wanted to get on to today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Heineken. Get yours at your local liquor store.
not for sale to those under the age of 18. It is 18 in Ireland as well.
Drink responsibly, yes. For those in the US, 21, sorry.
Ooh, shame. We actually got banned. Did I tell you that once?
What?
So when I was in America doing my summer camp thing, you know, living like a movie star, we actually got banned.
Of $2, yeah.
$2. We literally got banned from a restaurant, and when I say we, I mean the camp.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's actually quite a big cultural thing over there, where all the restaurants and everything know the summer camps are happening, especially
Right.
where ours. So that even like they see a group of 20-year-olds come in, immediately the manager goes, "Which camp are you from?" Doesn't even there's no questions. It's just, which camp are you from? And so we got banned because we had a 20-year-old guy from England. Obviously in
Yeah.
England he's been drinking for almost 3 years now, legally. Comes here and
Probably
look, the
longer.
place was making really cool cocktails.
Right.
Like it was really nice. And then he literally had a sip. Manager came up, was like, "Hey, listen, because they checked all of our IDs or passports and everything first, because like pretty much all of us were from overseas. So one of us, well, the English dude, had a drink, and immediately was like, "We're not gonna kick you out, but after tonight, your camp is no longer allowed at this restaurant." Immediately, straight. We're like, we thought this was a joke. Just straight away. It was bad. Even at Walmart, I didn't even, and this was genuine, I didn't even know the younger person behind me. Not from a bar or sip. But because a bunch of us had walked in together, one idiot wearing his camp shirt, they wouldn't let me buy booze because there was an oak, like a complete stranger behind me who was underage, and they flat out refused to serve me. So I literally just left my stuff, walked out, walked back in, grabbed more, went to a different teller, and then bought it. I was like, after all that,
They take underage drinking very seriously in America. You can buy a gun, but you cannot drink.
You can drive a car at 16.
Yeah.
How irresponsible were we at 16? But no, let's drive
Yeah, we were
cars.
drinking and driving.
No, we weren't.
Right, so really quickly, to answer your question, Jake Paul is apparently going to fight John Jones They're going to do Jake Paul and Logan Paul versus John Jones in the octagon. And both of them are going to be dead.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Logan.
But no, I don't know who else Jake could fight unless he goes Canelo. That's probably the only one that makes sense.
Or goes to actual professional boxers.
But yeah, Canelo is like he's retired. I think he's still fighting, or he's recently retired. And he's legit probably the best boxer that is of the older generations.
But
how
not
old
too
is
old.
Canelo? Hold on. Yeah.
Old but not too old.
Canelo Alvarez. He's 34. There's no way Jake's fighting him. He's not retired either.
So no, he's not fighting.
Multiple world champion in 4 weight classes. But I heard they were having some words. That's why I thought him. Sorry,
no,
I was
probably
completely
were.
wrong.
Canelo probably is calling him out like, hey, come, you want to call yourself professional? Because everything was advertised as Jake Paul, professional boxer. Look, he'll probably still stuff me up, but is he a professional boxer? Debatable.
Yeah. Manny Pacquiao.
But Manny
Jake would
Pacquiao
lose.
is like a whole couple weight classes below Jake, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, still.
But Logan fought Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
so
but that was also. I mean, how much more scripted could that fight have been? Let's be real. That was.
But Logan's a big guy. A lot of steroids.
But I mean, yeah, he's big in that sense, but he's also actually quite tall. Like, he's not a small person, especially when you see him in the WWE with all his stunts there. He actually is. Like,
that's why it's like
pretty comparable to a lot of those oaks.
I assume he could hit pretty hard. So Floyd was actually like it wouldn't have been easy, but it wouldn't have been difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like he definitely was defending most of the time, and Logan's punches didn't really do anything. There was the one like he hit Floyd and he went down like this, and Logan just.
Oh.
I was like, you didn't connect one.
I can guarantee there was a bookie that had said at this time he's going to throw haymakers, because they bet on all those kinds of odds where it's at minute this or minute and so many seconds this in round 2 he's going to do something stupid, and I can guarantee that he made money off doing that haymaker or that flurry of haymakers. Guarantee it. There was money made off that.
Oh yeah. Apparently Logan wasn't paid. Like Floyd didn't pay him for the fight. So
I don't know. I feel like he did, because he made a comment for like a week. There was all those, oh, Floyd hasn't paid me, and then dead quiet.
Yeah.
Nothing mentioned further. Yeah,
but you see, I'm so tired of Jake and Logan. Why? Like, there's so many people that continue to follow them and continue to give them fame, and they continue to irritate everyone. Like I used to, and I'm being honest here, I used to watch Logan when he used to do his daily vlogs. I never watched Jake. I always thought Jake was an arse. But Logan, I used to watch him when he did his daily vlogs. But the reason was because he was really good at it. Like the editing and everything, he was really good at telling a simple story in a fun way. It was around about the time when I was trying to become a YouTuber. So I was trying to get inspiration, and he was the best at the time. So I did watch it, and it gets you, like the way that the editor puts the video together, it pulls you in. And it was only like 10 minutes long. So you click on it, it pulls you in right in the start, and then he goes through all his rubbish, and then the end there's a payoff. So it's easy to get addicted to. Now his podcast is terrible. His I don't know, anything he does is just selling, quote unquote marketing. But it's cringy at this point.
Like,
he's turning into Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You've never seen footage of The Rock not selling something.
yeah, or how many times has he... There was that one that went round. It was a burger joint. Where it was like the fourth time...
In and out.
Yeah. Yes. It was the fourth time he'd said, "Oh, it's my first time ever at In-N-Out. I can't believe it's so good," or, again, selling it. But then people are like, hey, wait, because he didn't delete the older posts.
Yeah.
So someone scrolled down and was like, "Hey, you been here like a year ago. What's this now?" But that's actually very funny. I think people like The Rock a little bit more than they like Logan, though.
Yeah, because The Rock hasn't been in a situation where he's been a bad guy. He was a bad guy for a short period in WWE, but that was so long ago.
No, but that's
he was
also
even skinny back
WWE.
then.
Everyone has a turn to be the bad guy, the villain. That's just in the narrative of WWE.
And then he started making movies where his contract stated that he's the good guy and he wins all the fights, and he painted a picture for himself as he's the good guy. And then Kevin Hart came along, and then he showed that he had a funny side, which I assume was completely scripted as well. Like, I assume Dwayne Johnson doesn't know how to improv anything. So yeah, it made him a lot more likable, whereas Logan hasn't done anything to be likable besides his past, which was more addictive than likable.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I think with the both of them, I thoroughly didn't enjoy their Vans, because obviously that's where it all started, was Vans. Especially Jake, his Vans made our stuff look amazing, and I'm like, damn it, why did we not get onto Van early enough? Like, truly just nasty. Okay, Logan had a bit more stuff with who's that black guy? King Batch, and there was that chick as well.
Amanda Cerny,
yes, the brunette chick.
Hannah. Don't know her surname.
But yeah, so they used to do quite a few Vans in collaboration with each other and everything,
Yes.
and those are funny and fun. But Jake's stuff was just kind of more. It looked like he was on Van because his brother was, not because he was good.
Oh yes.
It was just because his brother was, and then he got tagged in, and then fast forward to.
But Van for them was right place, right time. They were literally living in the area with those other guys that were blowing up. So it was collaboration, and Logan's first vlog when he moved over to YouTube, because it was horrible. I watched the video recently, which was comparing YouTubers' first videos. It was so dumb. It was a typical Viner moving over, trying to keep their career going. Like if you see a TikToker move over to YouTube, that same first video, where it's like you know people are following you, but they don't really know you because they know you from another platform. So yeah, but that is a long long intro. The world's longest intro, half an hour discussing the
We're still on the intro.
I'll put the chapters at the bottom of the videos now, so this first half an hour is just going to be intro. see how long people sit through it.
Actually, gonna just sit there like, is this like a tapo? Duck surely not. Half an hour into the intro.
Yeah. So Vincel, how are you doing today?
Fuck, we really were in the intro. Oh dear. Let me go with my They will claim it's vodka. Put me to sleep.
Straight vodka. Sure. Must have been a rough week.
I'll tell you what, the year is coming to an end, and thank goodness for that. It has been hectic. Today was a very busy day. I was doing a wellness day, where I actually got to use my degree for once. The pharmacy, they carted
Your
it.
doctor's degree.
Well, I should have been a doctor at this rate, but no. I think that the pharmacy carted in like 50 people from an old age home, set up this whole thing, and they got some people to do some talks. We were able to put up little stuffs with our products. I had a direct competitor again at one of these events. The pharmacies aren't really big on exclusiveness. They're
Okay.
the more free shit, the merrier. Bring it all. We don't care. So yeah, a couple times I've been with my direct competitor at a wellness event, and I'm just there like, cool, let's play nice.
So what are the downsides of your product?
Yeah, no, exactly. No, they never mention anything about their product when I'm around because they know we have a bit of a superior product. They literally they literally have price. That's it. They're 20 rand cheaper. That's it. They have nothing else on us. So that's it. So yeah, they never try to bring up points. Like, ooh, our meter does this. I'm like, yeah, mine does it 2 times faster. Mine does it better. Anyway, so then I got to do a little talk on healthy eating habits.
I'm glad to see you believe in your product.
Oh no, I do. Genuinely, like, not even because I'm the rep and I'm paid to. Like, it genuinely is a great product. It used to be the #1 selling test strip in Europe, and it's like kind of close at the moment, but #1 selling test strip in Europe. So the Contour range, and that's a big thing. It is Swiss made. Ooh, Swiss made. Even though I'm pretty sure all the parts come from China and they just put it together in Switzerland. But at least we can put it on the little boxy, made in Switzerland, not made in China. You know, that's always a tick in the right box for most people. But yeah, so I got to do a little talk on healthy eating for diabetics, because pretty much everyone in the crowd was diabetic. Everyone got tested, so that was quite busy from 8 to 12. Then I did my usual thing where I'll go to rooms at other pharmacies in the area, and then did my heart not drop again, because
Did you almost have an accident again?
No, my wife's car is playing up.
Right.
And it's actually not so bad, because at least I've had the car for a long time. She's on 270 odd thousand kilometers. I bought it on 180. So I've put on about 90 myself. She's getting on an age, 2011 model,
Oh, the car, not your wife.
I'd be worried if my wife was a 2011 model. I might have to go to jail as well then.
I meant the getting on the age part.
Don't tell her that, please. But so it's giving me shit, which then reminded me about how shit the second-hand car market is at the moment. My poor brother, he obviously saw my car and was like, I want one. And because he's impatient, he bought the first one he saw. And this is actually now quite a hectic story, so I'm not going to name names or the dealers or anything, but he bought an Audi like mine.
Name the dealers.
Not a chance, because it's a proper hectic story. And already when he bought the car, there was really like a lot of suspicious stuff. The roadworthy was like a scrunched up certificate, it wasn't nice and presentable. He bought the car, he had to put new tires on, he had to put new front suspension on. It's like, how did it pass roadworthy with that? So that was all questionable. And then now Well, you started having the issues at about 4.5 months of owning the car. But
Yeah, it's always just too late. It's never like the next day.
yeah, it's never like the next day. But then my brother, being my brother, doesn't take it back to them, because in South Africa we've got this 6 months Consumer Protection Act where like within 6 months you can take it back and just be like, no. Simply take it back.
Yeah.
And they pretty much have to. Well, they technically have the right to repair, but you also have the right to refuse. So, doesn't. Kind of ignores it. 5 months now, takes it to a dealership, to a workshop, a proper RMI approved workshop, because that's what he was told by the salesman. I will get back to that because that's where the story gets hectic. So the salesman told him, because he took an aftermarket warranty on the engine and everything, was told as long as you go to an RMI approved mechanic workshop, everything will be valid. Workshop tunes engine kaput, no oil pressure, burning way too much fuel, so could need injectors, could need new head, like.
Are they being legit or are they?
No, the mechanic's being legit.
Okay.
His dashboard's been lighting up saying no oil pressure, stop the car. All those kinds of fun warnings that you love to see on your car's dash. And puffing white smoke like it's a absolute vapor. And so then they do one or two things. He drives around for a bit more, didn't fix it. So now it's 6 months and a week.
Okay.
Now he's emailing the dealership now. And the dealership is coming back with, oh no, you didn't use one of our preferred mechanics, and you did all of these services and repairs without our consent. I'm sorry. What do you mean, your consent? It's his vehicle, he owns it, he has the right to repair it. What do you mean? So now they're trying to refuse paying for all the fixes themselves as the workshop, not the warranty. Because that's the thing, obviously, you want to try to get it done that they fix it because they've sold you a turd knowingly. Obviously, they don't tell you as the buyer, but they knew everything was wrong. Sold it to him. And now they're trying not to pay out of their pocket. They're like, no, you have to use one of our approved mechanics who's a specialist in these vehicles or that type of vehicle. I'm sorry, but the only specialist is the dealership itself. If you're having an Audi, the only specialist is taking it to Audi. Taking it to a mechanic who claims to know a lot about Audis is not taking it to a specialist. That's just going to someone who likes working on Audis, as an example.
Yeah.
So now, he's now stuck in a battle there, playing ping pong over email, because obviously the dealership doesn't want to pay for anything. They want him to go through their channel so that they can put it through on the warranty, which he's bought, which I can see he's going to have to do anyway, just for the sake of getting his car fixed. And not having to do the whole proper legal lawyer thing, and that can drag out for months or years, especially that now everyone's going to go on a holiday in December.
Yeah.
So it's not going to get sorted this year. Not going to get sorted in January.
Oh.
So, yeah, buying second-hand cars in South Africa sucks. But who can afford to buy new? It is ridiculous at the moment, at least in South Africa. I don't know about by you.
New cars seem to be cheaper here. A lot of people buy new cars. One main thing is that the first 5 years of a car's life, it does a roadworthy test when it gets registered, and you don't have to do it. After 5 years, you have to do it every single year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So people buy new cars so that they can avoid that. It's only like €50, but they legit look at everything. Like if your headlight is too high, you can fail and have to do it again.
Imagine they tried to do that in South Africa. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the cars I've driven in my life probably wouldn't have passed. I mean, the stuff you see here, you'll remember, is old original Golfs, or you know, turned into city Golfs nowadays. But I mean, the doors held on by hopes and dreams, and the tires are shiny, smooth, but somehow that looks on the road, and you're like, how? And then when he crashes, everyone's like, oh shame, and you're like, oh shame for what? He was driving a death trap. He knew what he was doing. Don't come at me with that.
I don't know if you remember the Corsa Light that I had.
The yellow one.
Yeah.
Oh.
That thing was held together by cable ties.
Exactly. Now imagine you
I had
had
the clutch cable snapped on me one day. I had to redo that by myself. The driver's seat came off. So I don't know if you remember, I took the passenger seat and put it in the driver's side, and there was no seats.
I do remember that.
It was like a proper racing car.
Dude,
I had to put Justine in the back.
That was hilarious, actually, to remember that now.
I used to do handbrake turns around most corners with that car.
Like, oh, that's because you could, because it weighed nothing, and the back tires were so skinny, they just... Mm-hmm. Oh, no. See, I was on the other spectrum. I always had, like, big, heavy skadonkadonks. What was my first car was that old...
You had a Mercedes. That thing was crazy.
1998 C200 automatic.
Compressor?
No, it wasn't compressor, no. Those were the newer ones. The newer C classes came out with the compressor. Or supercharged. But no, mine was just a plain boring C200.
But if you had that now, that'd be sick.
Dude, I loved that car. It was so comfortable. It drove so nicely. Even though it was from 1998. It was just heavy on fuel. Like, I think when I worked it out, it was something like 11. It was it was heavier than a buggy, because it was also an old 4-speed automatic. So I think I got like 11 or 12 liters per 100k. It was horrendous. Like, just my Audi now. Okay, it's a 2-liter diesel, but I'm getting 7.5, 7.6 if I drive nicely. If I drive like a moron, I get about 8.3 liters per 100. So
nice.
Much better.
So wait, what's that? How does that, what? How many?
Liters per 100 kilometers.
Kilometers, yes. What's the other way around? Kilometers per liter.
Yeah.
How many kilometers per liter?
I don't know. I've only ever worked it out as liters per 100.
Because mine does kilometers per liter, and I can get it up to 20ish.
This is you have a Yaris at the moment, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think it's 30. I can get up to 30. Because it is a hybrid.
Oh, yes, yeah. That's such a big thing over there.
Kilometers per liter. Yeah. Sorry, 20.
So what's that in the other way around?
Checking now. Liters per 100 kilometers. What was yours?
On a good day, 7.5.
3. 2.8.
What the fuck? That is sniffing fuel, boss.
Yeah.
That is properly just like, yeah, we're good, let's go. Yeah. But then you said you were looking at either the Corolla wagon or the Corolla Cross.
Estate. It's called an estate.
Oh, sorry. Estate.
Or the Yaris Cross. Yeah, I like the. I never used to like estates. I always thought they were like even the Subaru Impreza estate. I didn't like. I thought it looked ugly, but then I saw the latest Audi RS6 estate. I almost died looking at that thing. It was so beautiful.
And it sounds
yeah. So yeah, I'm open to the idea. So Corolla hybrid estate, which might be a nice idea. But yeah,
a lot.
Speaking of second-hand cars, Justine's Nissan Lavina.
I
don't know if you
remember
remember that thing.
Yes.
I drove to Chatsworth. We had a cricket game. And I went over a pothole, and suddenly I'm hearing like a clicking sound, and the car's struggling. I'm like, what is going on here? I got out, checked the tires were fine. It felt like I had a flat. I was like, okay, whatever, let's go. Drive all the way there, slowly make it there. The faster I went, the less the noise was there. So I went a little bit faster than I should have. Get there, play the game. After the game, everyone gets in the cars, leaves. I get in my car. I try to reverse, and the front doesn't move. I'm like, what's going on now?
Oh shit!
So I put foot because I thought I was stuck in a hole. Moved it a bit. I was like, okay, that's not good because it just dragged. So then I left it. Get out, and I looked behind the front tire. The wishbone had snapped.
How big was this pothole?
Bro, no, I think it had. I think when we bought the car, it had an issue with the wishbone. Like it must have been cracked already.
I mean, the car
and it just snapped it off.
It was kind of low to the ground though for what it was. It doesn't have the best ground clearance for South African roads.
Yeah. So it snapped. So I ended up. And I was like, I looked, and I was like, oh, it looks fine. Let me just call my dad. And Steve was the only one there that he's like, hey, do you want me to wait with you? I was like, no, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And then he left, and then I looked closer and I saw it was snapped. I was like, oh man.
Oh shit.
Then I phoned insurance, and I was there for a long time waiting for the truck to come pick it up.
Oh yeah, it would have had to be a flatbed as well because it's just dead.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So yeah, that was an interesting story of a second-hand experience. But otherwise, that car didn't give us many problems. Otherwise, it was a good car.
Yeah, I think probably the car I had the most issues with, although probably mostly my own fault, was, I don't know if you remember, I had that Hyundai Elantra.
Yes.
So after the Merc. I cracked the, I don't say because it was old, the radiator cracked.
Okay.
And then, but this was when I was studying Maritzburg, but still staying in Pinetown, so I was driving for an hour to lectures and back. Pulled up to lectures, stopped, and just bellowed steam out the front of the car, and I was like,
oh, that's so embarrassing as well.
Oh shit. Oh dear. Completely forgot about it. Drove home. No steam came out, obviously because now there was no water.
And they didn't overheat or anything?
Didn't overheat because where I live, if you remember, it was so close to the highway that it didn't get a chance to overheat, and then there was just enough airflow from being on the highway that it just kind of kept it cool, or cool enough that the heat gauge wouldn't go ding 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 overheating.
Okay.
Except for one day when there was an accident on the highway and I actually had to sit there. And then obviously from sitting there it just decided.
Wasn't there a dial telling you that where you had low water?
No, not low water. Just
low
temperature.
coolant?
No, just a temperature gauge. But it never went above halfway.
Okay.
So I don't know if the gauge was broken or not. But something that was broken was the fuel light. So the student life where you're just driving around, you're trying to make it on every last drop of petrol. You never.
How many times did you run out of fuel?
3.
It's
Twice.
not so bad. It's not so bad. I ran out of fuel once as well.
No, but it's bad because it's not like I was far away from home. The one time, if you remember the M13, and then there's the split to join the St. John's Bridge. Just into Pinetown, so you go Ben Pine or you go to my house. I ran out of fuel joining that split once.
Oh no.
But literally on the bend, on the parts that as it joins. So I got
Were you
stuck.
able to pull over?
No. So now obviously everyone's hooting at me like, why the fuck is this like stopped in the middle of the highway? I'm like, if I could move, I would have. Duh. Second time I ran out of fuel. I rolled out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
I made it past the FET college. I made it 500 meters out my house. And the car just died straight. Go. Oh, shit. Cameron, are you still home? Luckily, because of all our fishing, we had the boats, which have fuel tanks. Usually with some fuel in there. So he would each time have to just... Luckily, he was out of school at the time. Only just. I think he was first year out. He could just pull one of the gas cans out of the boats and just come rescue me.
Why didn't you just do that before you leave? You silly nut.
Because I thought I had enough fuel to make it to the petrol station, because the fuel light doesn't come on. So
then
the gauge...
Then you put fuel. Then you put... Oh, I've got fuel here.
Needless to say, I never let it get below a quarter. After the second time, I was like, I'm not doing this again. And then I sold it.
Bro, my yellow Corsa light, whenever you would turn left, the fuel gauge would go up. So if I was like sitting on empty, I would just turn left and it would go up. I'd be like, oh, I got fuel now. But it ran out of fuel once near Westall Boys. And I didn't live anywhere near there. And it was the middle of the day. So, yeah, I was able to get some help. But it's always awkward because, like, you know, and then you try to start it and nothing happens. I managed to get it started again so I could pull over, and then it just went, it died. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's always a very heartbreaking feeling as well, or at least the first time when you've never experienced running out of fuel. Because like your immediate thought is, oh no, like...
My car's broken.
Is the engine dead? Because it's just like, you put the foot, and then, but you're slowing down, and you're like, no, why? And then it just dies, and you're like, go.
And your car now tells you the range, right?
Yeah, no, now it tells me, even though it's a 2013, but it tells me the range. It tells me to pull over if I've driven for more than 2 hours. It's like a rest recommended.
Okay.
It tells me if I open my windows and I'm doing over 100. It tells me air resistance, economy tip, close windows for better aerodynamics. And I'm like, this bitch. Someone farted and I'm trying to get it out. Let me open my window.
Does it have self-driving?
No
Cruise control.
Oh, cruise control. It does have cruise control. Sorry,
adaptive cruise control.
Adaptive cruise control. Sorry, when you say self-driving, I'm thinking Teslas and actual.
So it can pick up the cars in front.
No.
So if you put it at 140, it's going 140 into anyone.
It's going 140 into the cliff.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So Justine is terrified of running out of petrol. I don't think she's ever run out of fuel before, that I know of. But she's like literally, it is from here to town where she works and when the kids go to school. It is 10 kilometers, well, just above 10 kilometers. So we've got 70 in the tank, and she's like, "Will I make it there and back?" I have to fill up as soon as it goes under 100 range. She has to fill up because otherwise she's like, "No, I can't."
I mean, look, it's not. It's actually it's a fun thing with that I learned with the Elantra,
Yeah.
because I used to run it part lower than a quarter most of its life. Is the
Poor
lower
thing.
the fuel in the tank
It's harder for the pump to work.
and it overheats,
Yeah.
the fuel acts as a coolant and actually helps spread the heat of the pump. So I actually burnt out my fuel pump in my Elantra because I always ran it empty. So it's good on Justine. She's actually thinking ahead in
I
terms
know.
of maintenance.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah. No, I knew
Until
that
it happened,
I
but
knew
then-
that it. I always knew it was better to have more fuel because of the pump. Then obviously I learned about the coolant as well. But I always ran on empty because I couldn't afford to fill up. I literally once put in. Oh no, that was on my scooter. I put in 8 rand fuel. I pulled up to the pump and I was like,
Did they just
'cause you-
shake the
'cause-
nozzle? Oh, but fuel was a lot cheaper back then. What, like 15 rand a litre?
It was around 15 to 17 at that time. But I pulled up to the petrol station, and for those of you at home who are still watching, in South Africa there's actually petrol attendants who will fill up your car for you. Here you have to fill up your car by yourself. You have to get out and fill it up and then go and pay. And in America it's very weird. You pay first and then you fill up, which is crazy. So anyway, I was like, I pulled out my change. I was like, can I get 8 rand, please? And he looked at me, he's like, all right. So he puts in like a half a litre. But in my scooter, bro, that thing was 20 rand. It was full for a week. So
Yeah, no, different ball game. But no, in my car, back then, I've a good couple times put 50
But
rand.
don't you
in.
want to test? Don't you want to test your new car? Like how big the reserve tank is? How far can you go on empty? Like I want to get it down
If it
to
was a- if it
zero,
was a
and in
petrol-
time.
If it
How
was
far
a
can I-
petrol, I would. But diesels
Oh, it's
are
a
a bit-
diesel.
Yeah, diesels are an ass. Like you have to take it in and you have to pump it. And petrol, you just after it's empty, you just put fuel in and it fixes itself. Where diesel, you gotta air out the system and everything. It's a much more painful process to
Yeah.
refuel it. But I've done
It's like that, yeah.
I've done the best I've done is 900 and, I think it was like 911 Ks so far. That's
pretty good.
the
That's pretty
most
good.
I've done it before going. I have to fill. But yeah,
My car maxes out at 800, not even 780,
but it probably only has like a 45 litre tank or something.
45. Yeah,
Where mine has a, is it a 65 or a 75?
I'm not sure.
But
It must be the
much
bigger.
more fuel.
Yeah.
It holds much more fuel. So.
Yeah, because my dad's caddy, he used to do 1,000 k's per full up his diesel that he had.
Yeah, but
So-
those small diesels are flipping unbelievably good on fuel.
Yeah. But how do they get the fuel? They mine for it, don't they? No, they don't say. They drill for it. Sorry, they mine for
They
coal.
drill for it, yes.
They mine for coal. But that reminds me of our next topic. The perfect segue. We haven't got much time left, so this is a sensitive topic, but can you give me a quick rundown of the 4,000 illegal miners that are trapped?
So, for those that don't know, in South Africa, we obviously have a load of it's that time of night. It's bedtime.
Have another sip, yeah.
Let's sip of water. I mean vodka. But no, in South Africa we have a lot of natural resources, so gold and other sorts of minerals. But gold and diamonds are kind of the big ones. And there's a lot of mines where they aren't as productive as they used to be, so they become abandoned. Because obviously the big corporations, they have to have so many dollars returned per yardage mined, and when it drops below a certain threshold, they abandon it. Now these abandoned mines then turn into free-for-alls, where mostly immigrants, so non-South Africans, so foreign nationals, come in and pretty much take over these abandoned mines, which is obviously legal because it is still property owned by the mines and owned by South African government.
But does the person managing the mine hire these people?
No.
Do they force
so all
their
of
way
this
in?
gold, no, this is them coming into South Africa with the sort of idea of, I'm going to get rich. I'm going to go find a big old nugget.
Oh, so
and
it's just like
it's a complete
they call it
free-for-all.
prospecting.
It's in essence prospecting. It's mafias are kind of have taken over it. It's in essence mafias, where there'll be like a Nigerian faction, there'll be a Mozambican faction, and they're in control of these illegal mines, where they literally import people, shove them all in the hole, and dig for scraps. And then obviously pay them nothing, but they bring them over with the hopes of, you're going to be a gold miner.
If you find it, you're going to keep it, yeah.
Yeah. So now what's happened is massive clampdown, and all the miners they use the word trapped, because I think it's a little bit clickbaity from all the news channels, but
I legit thought they were trapped in the mine.
the miners are actually hiding because they don't want to come out because the police are waiting.
Do they have food?
No. So that's where a lot of the problems are coming, where they have sent a food parcel. I haven't heard of any updates of a secondary parcel because there was 4,000 people underground, too scared to come out because they don't want to get deported, they don't want to go to jail, those sorts of things.
Right.
But now the problem is the food parcel goes down and the crime bosses, the mafia groups, immediately took it. So slowly, in like
Is that inside the mine?
Inside the mine.
Why are the bosses in the mine?
It's obviously not like the big boss, but like lieutenants, slightly lower down the food chain, but still bosses over the miners.
Right.
Taken control and kept the food. So now there've been groups of like 10, 15, 20 people that have been coming out at a time, and that's how this information is being shared, that the food's not getting to them, it's being taken and controlled. So now that's why these other people are slowly coming out and just going, deport me, please. Don't send me to jail, deport me. So yeah, no, that's a whole quick overview of what's happening in that side of the whole trapped miners. They're trapped because they're scared of being deported.
Huh. Okay, so what would you do?
In that
if
scenario,
you were in charge? Yeah.
In charge of getting rid of them, or in charge of the miners that are in the ground?
First one, then second.
Oh, yeah, no. And that's pretty hard, because to get them out by force, you're then risking gunfights, because the people are armed underground. You're risking
underground gunfights. That sounds epic.
It does sound epic. It sounds like a proper. Why was I going to say horror movie? Action movie. That's proper action movie material. That like you can't make it up.
Black Ops 6.
Black Ops 6. Oh. And so yeah, it's a really finicky one where you can't. You don't want to risk losing your own people to chase these people out. But, the longer they're in there, the more likely there's going to be more deaths. So there is a turning point where you almost have to go in there and fetch them.
Okay.
Because you're now...
Do we have any idea about the structure of the mines?
Yeah, no, they are. It's all mapped out.
Down and sideways?
Yeah, that's all the mines are mapped out.
So you can't even send like tear gas down?
Yeah, no, the mine's too big. It's kilometers.
Okay.
It's it's proper big scale mines, like literal kilometers of underground networks. I mean, South Africa has some of the deepest mines in the world.
Yeah, no, they do.
Literally, so yeah, this is one of the, I forget the exact name of the mine, but it's literal kilometers of mine where you could, in essence, like you say. You could tear gas one shaft, everyone just buggers off to the next one, and then you're going to play this endless game.
And they probably know they know their way around by now. So you couldn't. If you go in to try and get them out, you're on the back foot. There's no chance of you winning that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right. So it's and unfortunately for everyone involved, it's a human right violation if you do not send them aid.
No, exactly.
So you can't, like, part of me says, okay, well, let them starve, eventually they'll come out. Give them no access to water, 3 days they'll be out. But yeah, it's you can't legally.
Yeah, then it's a human rights violation. Now we're gonna have the UN flying in and tuning us what.
And then China's going to defend South Africa, and then US.
I don't know.
That's a whole.
I don't say we'll defend, because we're the ones preventing China from getting extremely cheap gold. Because where do you think all that gold goes from? Those immigrants that all gets collected by the mafia, melted down, shipped off.
Sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry to tell you this, Vincel. China owns South Africa. And that includes the mines, that includes the agriculture.
I don't know about the mines. I think the mines are still American and European owned. Because most of those mines are old money. Those aren't new companies. Those are
Those
are old money.
I'll give
But
you
have
that. But
Google the figures of what the release of figures of the one mine owner. He's making millions per day.
What's his name? Stain.
Yes, it was millions per day.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of thousands per minute. And I was like, he's making my yearly salary in half a day.
Oh, so you earn a lot then?
No.
Yes, you said he's making millions a day. So your yearly salary?
Oh, I'd have to work it out. He's making my
Are
salary.
you talking rands or dollars?
Rands.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's making what I make in half an hour. Imagine that. I'm working my butt off, and he's just there, sitting in his big fancy chair, in his armored Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon.
Have you seen the Stain house or the Stain fortress?
No, I haven't.
You have to look. Okay, we'll look it up after the podcast. Vincent, where can they find you?
They can find me at Vince_Gordon on Instagram. But better yet, find us on TikTok as globalbuggers_pod, and you find out all the nice little tidbits of us doing everything there. Terence, what about you?
We're nice to we post on TikTok.
We're nice that we have a video.
Go follow this podcast. So just hit subscribe at the bottom. But you can also follow me on Scarlet Marketing on YouTube and TikTok. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.